What's going on YouTube? As you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to be going over my damage control strategy whenever you have a YOLO, or I guess YOLOs are just a fancy way, a fun way of calling maybe a binge. So like those days where you go to a party and you see some cake that looks delicious, you haven't had cake in a while, your calories are at like 2,000 and you end up having half the cake and going 2, 3, 4 times your macros for the entire day and have that in one sitting or one entire day. Or if you go for a 10,000 calorie challenge. So what I do on these days is typically the next day, in my case I just did the pizza challenge. It was a 6.5 pound pizza, so I woke up the morning of at 207 pounds. And after eating this pizza, I guess I would assume it was probably like 6,000 to 8,000 calories, maybe in that ballpark. The next day I woke up at 213 pounds. And then what I did to, I guess, control how much weight I gain, because when you gain a lot of weight in a very short period of time, it's going to be a higher percentage of fat. So yes, I am technically on the road to 225 pounds, but I don't want to do that in a month, because if I do that too quick, it's going to be a higher percentage of fat gain. If you gain 20 pounds in, I guess, let's say 6-7 months, that's going to look a lot better. Going to probably be a higher percentage of muscle than if you put on 20 pounds in 30 days or so. So, because muscle takes a lot of time to synthesize, create, and for you to have that progressive overload to build that muscle. So what I did when I put on that 6 pounds is the next day I just wasn't too hungry. So typically on the day after a food challenge or a YOLO, I will cut my calories by maybe like 1,000 or so. So the next day I had, I believe, 2,100 calories, coming down from about 3,100 calories. So a big deficit there. It wasn't hard to do because I was already not very hungry, just because I did do that the big pizza yesterday. And so the next day I woke up and I was 210.2 pounds. So when you have these big eating days, usually it's typically a lot of carbs, and carbs do hold a lot of water when they're in your stomach. They will just absorb and soak up a lot of water. So you're going to be very heavy the next day. A lot of that water weight is going to drop, and just you're going to have more time to digest and excrete the food. And then, so I was still 3 pounds up. So what I did the following day after that is usually I'll cut calories by 300 to 500 calories. And so in this case I did, I think, about 2,700 calories the second day after. And so, and that day, I'm gonna probably put up a picture, and after that, I did 2,700 calories that day, and the following day I woke up and I did just move into school, and so my scale was in a different spot, but it said 206 pounds. So I was probably around 206, 207, and pretty much there's not a lot of noticeable difference in body composition. I do probably look a little less lean than I did originally at that body composition, I guess like, what, 3 days prior, even though the same weight. But over time, my body will regulate and get back to where it was body fat percentage wise. And then I'm just going to get straight back on track and start incrementally working my way up to 220, 225 pounds and get thick. I also forgot to mention, after the food challenge, you're going to be really full anyway, or after you eat a lot of food. So I would probably suggest don't eat too much the rest of that day, just to minimize your caloric consumption that day. Also, drink a lot of water the day of when you're eating that much food, and the night of. And then also the next day, I would say drink a lot of water. It's also just going to keep you, keep your system, your digestion moving, and getting that extra glycogen, glucose, everything out of your body sooner. So what you should do is cut your calories by 1,000 calories the next day. This is just what I recommend. 2, the day after that, cut calories by 300 or 500 calories. Maybe even add a little cardio to help you get that little deficit. And then 3, see where you're at, and then maybe not jump straight back to your calories. Maybe incrementally bump it up, see how your body responds again once it gets, because it's probably going to have a lot less food in your stomach you may just have low weigh-ins as is. So that is my damage control strategy. I hope you implement it, or maybe it puts you at ease whenever you have these big eating days, because everybody falls off sometimes, but it's nice to have a strategy to get back on track faster. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. If you found this informative, please like the video. It does help me out a lot, and I will see you in the next one.